Arena Club family, I'm Hilary, and I'm here to show you just a functional mobility workout. Now all you would need is a mat or a towel. You could also, you're going to need a ball. Lacrosse ball is your best bet. Tennis ball is a little soft, but if that's all you have, grab a tennis ball. A golf ball is too hard and too small. So what we're going to start with is we're going to start with some toe yoga. So you're just going to bring your feet just underneath your hips, and you're really just going to work your toes, just like fingers. So you're going to lift all of your toes up and keep your big toe down. Then you're going to switch. Put the other four down, lift the big toe up. And you're just going to switch back and forth. Then you're going to try and rotate through your toes. Going big toe down, then the second toe, third, fourth, fifth, and then just roll them back up. So we just want to work through our toes as we roll across the floor. And you can do this for 5 seconds, 10 seconds. It's really not that long. It's just to get dexterity between your toes. Then I want you to try separating your toes and placing them on the floor, and then lifting them back up. Separate your toes and place them on the floor. Lift them back up. Now what I want you to do is I want you to lift up your heels onto your toes. Lift one foot, slowly lower the heel back down, bring the foot down. Lift your heels, lift the other foot, slowly lower the heel back down. Now when it comes to being on grass or on your carpet you're going to be more stable than on the grass. However, if you want to get outside, it's nice to be outside. Let your kids run around and play while you're just doing a stretch workout. This way you can watch your kids play. So we're just going to lift up onto our heels up again. Lift one foot, lift one foot, and slowly lower down. Then we're just going to the other side. Lift, slowly lower down. So now we're just going to actually come down to the floor. So you're going to first take your lacrosse ball, put your lacrosse ball down. You're going to take 1 foot and we're going to start with the foot. You're going to roll the lacrosse ball through the foot. Now you can also bring the lacrosse ball right underneath the ball of the foot. You're going to curl the toes down, lift the toes back up. Now the pressure you put into the foot is completely up to you. We don't want to cause pain in the foot. We just want to get a nice relaxation through the foot. Just letting the curls toe down, lift them back up. Then you're just going to roll into the heel of the foot, roll it around, side to side, back and forth. Now you can do this for about 20-30 seconds on each side. Just getting a good workout through the heel of the foot. Then you're just going to switch sides. So you're going to bring it into the ball of the foot, roll from side to side. Then we're going to curl the toes down and lift the toes back up. Just while the ball sits right under the ball of the foot. Then you're just going to roll it to the back. Roll it a couple of times back and forth. Bring it into that heel, and then just roll side to side and front to back, just releasing into the heel. We're going to do a lot with a lacrosse ball. It's pretty much like a lacrosse ball smash. You're trying to smash it with your heel, then we're going to try and smash it with our calf. So now we're going to come down, and we're going to take the lacrosse ball, we're going to put it underneath the calf. So the pressure is again completely up to you. You can add the other foot on top if you need to. If you're in the grass, you might need to because you have the extra give in the grass than you do on a hard surface. So you're just going to roll the lacrosse ball around, up and back, trying to find those tight spots. So when you find those tight spots, you're just going to work the lacrosse ball into those tight spots. And each leg is going to take about 30 seconds to a minute. So it's completely up to you. So when it comes to intensity level, you might want about a 7 to 8. You don't want to take it to like a 9 or a 10. We don't want to cause pain. We just want to cause change. So we're just working for change. So then you're just rolling it a little further up the calf as you go. You can slide your body down a little further and just work into the next section of the calf, side to side, back and forth a little bit till you find that nice release. Work it down a little further. So you're spending about 30 seconds to a minute on each side, just so this way you have time to get through the entire calf. But you really want to just work into those nice tight spots. So then when it comes to the front, so we still need to hit the front of the shin. So you're going to turn sideways and you're going to bring the ball right underneath the shin. Now you can take your hand to add a little pressure if you choose. You don't have to. You can just slide it front to back and forward and back. So you're just working through each section of the shin. So you might have to maneuver your body a little bit, just enough to feel that nice release in the calf. You might need to move it down a little bit, up a little bit, whatever works for you. So then we're going to take it to the hip. So you're going to sit on it, rolling it. Now this time you have to use your hands to help lift yourself up. You might need to use your other foot to push pressure into the ground to give yourself some height, just to work it through the hip and the high part of the IT band. So you're just working back and forth, just a little rock front to back, side to side, just so you find that nice release through there. And then we're just going to flip over and work onto the other side. So remember, you might start low on the calf. You might need to add that other hand on there as pressure. You might not, but you're just going to roll that little bit back and forth, side to side. Find that next area. So you're just doing one whole side, then you can flip around and do the other side if you want to do each part. It's completely up to you how you want to do it. But this is even good to do before a workout, just to release the muscle, get the blood flowing in it. It's great for your circulation. So remember, next you're going to go to the shin, which this is really your tibial muscle. So you want to start lower and you're just moving back and forth, front to back. And then you can work your way up with the ball with your hand, or you can just slide your body down, whatever works for you. Just getting that nice release through the shin. And today is a beautiful day to be outside anyway. So if you can go outside and do something, go outside and get some fresh air. As long as you're about 6 feet from anybody else, it's all good. We all need a little fresh air, a little vitamin D, especially with all the rain we've been having. So remember, the next spot, you're going to hit right into the high hip, high IT band, and just give it a little bit of a roll up and back, side to side. Just find those nice tight spots. So remember, each side, just 30 seconds. If you're just starting out with doing this, you only want to start with about 30 seconds. You don't want to try and go for the full minute unless you're finding that you have a lot of tight spots that you need to work out. So the next one, you can get rid of your ball, and we're going to kneel up. So you're going to be on one knee. The other knee is going to be at that 90-degree bend. Now, this knee is going to track straight forward over the toes. Now what you're doing is you're keeping the heel down, so you feel the stretch in the low calf and down to the back of the ankle. So you feel it in the Achilles tendon, the low spot of that calf. It might even go all the way up the calf. If you're doing this facing a wall, what you're trying to do is push the knee towards the wall. So then you're just going to come back, and you're going to shift your weight back and feel a nice stretch right in the hamstring. Try to keep your toes down, so this way you can even get a stretch right up the front of the shin. So you're just going to sit up again, lean forward in, Feel that nice stretch in the back of the calf, back of the ankle. This is really good for runners to keep that dexterity in the ankles and the calves. You really just want to keep loose, keeping those toes down as you shift back into the hamstring. Then we're just going to switch sides. So all you have to do is just turn around and switch sides. So you can keep the toes under or you can lay the toes out flat, whatever works for you. But the knee you want over the ankle, then you're going to lean in, pushing that ankle towards that front wall, keeping that heel down. Feel that nice release. And just slowly work into it. Your breath can also help you. So as you take a deep breath in, just relax the body and let the weight of the body relax into the stretch. So you're just going to kneel up again. Push that knee towards the toes. Feel that release right in the back of the ankle, calf. You're even going to feel some into the hip flexor, right into the front of the hip. You're just going to shift back. Keep that leg long. Feel that nice stretch in the back of the thigh, right into the hamstring. So now I just want you to rock forward, and we're going to come into a 90-90. So you're just going to slide that leg across the front. Both legs are going to come into a 90-degree bend. So all I want you to do is you're going to sit up tall. It's a little difficult to sit up tall sometimes when you're in your 90-90. So this hip, if you're sitting up tall, might start to cramp up a little bit. That's the area you're working as well. You're just getting flexibility in your hips. So then all I want you to do is you're going to turn your hands. I'll switch sides. So you're going to place your hands outside that front knee. And you're just going to rotate and look back over the back shoulder. So you're going to feel the release right through the hip. You're even going to feel a little bit through the mid-back. Then you're going to come back to center. And try to sit up nice and tall. So the front knee is directly out. And the front thigh directly in line with the hip. Back leg is the same. The leg faces out. Foot right in line with the knee. So then we're just going to bring our hands around, look back over that shoulder. Feel that release right in the hips, mid-back, and you're going to come back to center. So from here you're just going to slide right into pigeon. So you're going to lift that back foot and you're going to extend it back. Now the extension comes as you keep doing this. It'll get easier and easier as you try to extend that back leg. Now you're going to tuck the front foot in just a little bit and roll up into your pigeon. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring the center of the body down close to the floor. So you'll notice that sometimes you might feel a little bit of grab in the knee. If so, slide that foot out just a little bit in the front. Then just try and shift your weight side to side to where you feel like you can get the best stretch. Sometimes it might be shifting forward or back. Just wherever you feel comfortable. And now if you choose, you can also walk your elbows down to the floor, getting a deeper stretch right through the hip, bringing the body a little bit lower. You just want to hold it, maybe rock back and forth till you feel that nice stretch. So now we're just going to walk our hands back up and we're just going to switch sides. So you can either turn around or you can just switch your feet. So remember, you're going to your 90-90 degree first. So the knee lines up with the ankle, front knee lines up with hip. Back knee is the same. Back knee lines up with the hip. Knee and ankle line up together. So we lift up tall and we try to sit tall, keeping the weight going down in the center. So you feel that nice stretch right through the hip region. Now you're going to take your hands, you're going to bring them outside that front knee, place them on the floor, lift up tall, and then rotate looking over that back shoulder. Now as you hold your stretch, relax your breathing. Breathing in, and then as you go for that little deeper stretch, just breathe out slowly. So then we're going to come back to center. We're going to take it into that pigeon. So we're just going to lift that knee up and extend the leg back. Slide the foot in just a little bit and roll the hip over. Now remember, if it bothers the knee a little bit, you might need to slide that foot out just a little bit and flex the foot. Flexing the foot just protects that knee. So we're just sitting up, rocking side to side. Just finding that nice, comfortable stretch. Just want to walk your arms down, bring in your chest closer to that front thigh. Feel that nice stretch right around the hip. So when you're ready, you're just going to walk your hands back in. Curl that back toe under, and you're just going to push up to kneeling and bring that front foot out. So now we're going to do a kneeling hip flexor stretch. So the front knee is over the ankle. The back toes are curled under. So all you're going to do is you're going to squeeze the glute, pull the hip under. So you're going to feel that stretch from the belly of the quad up into the hip. Now if you want to feel a little further, you're going to lift that arm up. Lift up, pull the arm back. So you're going to feel that stretch go from that hip flexor right up the front side of the body. So it's not about leaning in. It's about pulling everything under, squeezing the glute, pull the hip under, and just reach up and pull back. So you feel it come right up the front side of the body. And you're just going to hold. Now if you choose, you can always pull down, lift back up. So you can relax it and go back into it. Then you're just going to release. So then we're just going to switch sides. So remember, when you rotate, you still want to curl those back toes under. It keeps the knee and the ankle in line. So we're going to squeeze that glute, pull the hip under, and then just reach up nice and tall and lift, pull back. So you feel the belly of the front of the quad, hip flexor, right up that side of the body. Now remember, you can release, and then you can always go back into it. So now we're also going to come into some adductor stretching. So when you're here in this position, you're now just going to turn the toes out to the side, knees still over the ankle. So now you feel that stretch right through the adductor as you rotate your hips to face front. You're feeling that stretch right through the inside of the thigh. Now you can always bring it back, release, and go back into it. Feel that nice release on the inside of the thigh. Now you can also just turn the toes front, shift the hips back over this front leg, and you'll feel that nice stretch right through the adductor. It's going to also go down to the inside of the knee. Go ahead and lift back up. So we're just going to switch sides. So the other foot comes to the front. Just rotate that foot out. Knee is over the ankle. Rotate the hips to the front so you feel that nice stretch right through the inside of the thigh. Bring it back in to release, and then just take it back out. Rotating the hips is where you're going to feel the stretch through the inside of the thigh. If your hips follow, you will get no stretch to the inside of the thigh, so you really have to remember to rotate through the hips and just keep pushing that knee out. So now we're going to take that leg, turn the toes facing front, shift the hips back, and feel that nice stretch go right down the front, the inside of that thigh, right down to where the knee is. Try to keep the foot down on the floor. Feeling that nice stretch. So now we're going to just curl those toes under. So we're going to come into a broken toe. So broken toe just means you're curling the toes under. You're going to sit up tall, and then you're just going to sit back onto the heels. So you feel the stretch right through the arch of the foot. Now while you're here, I'm going to have you clasp your hands behind, roll the shoulders back, and you're going to push your hands towards the floor, sitting up tall. Now for a stretch down the neck. You're going to keep up tall. You're just going to take your head and tip to one side. So you're going to feel the stretch go down the side of the neck and maybe into the shoulder and right down into the arm. You're just going to hold that stretch for about 20 to 30 seconds. Lifting up as you need to and going back in. Just driving those hands towards the floor. And then you're just going to lift your head up and take it to the other side. Feeling that nice stretch. Feeling the stretch in the feet still as well. If the feet start to bother you, just go ahead and release and take the toes down. Now we're just going to release the hands, come up tall. So we're going to take our hands, we're going to uncurl the toes, we're going to come into child's pose. So you're going to bring the toes together, separate the knees, and shift the hips back. Then you're just going to reach the hands out long, tucking the chin down towards the chest, and feeling the length come up the back of the body. Now from here, you're going to take your opposite hand, draw it under, lower the shoulder down, and then try to look under the arm, feeling that stretch right across the back of the shoulder. Trying to keep the hips going back, feeling that deeper stretch up the back. Then you're just going to release. You're just going to switch sides. Now you're trying to bring that shoulder down towards the mat, bringing the ear down towards the mat as well. So then you might want to do this a couple times, just on each side, feeling that nice release. And if you need a deeper release, you might even try bringing the hand closer to the forearm. Add this hand, pressure into the mat, and just have it push you over a little bit further into that stretch. So you feel a deeper stretch across the back of the shoulder. Have a great day and enjoy some sunshine when you can.